After a fascinating Australian Grand Prix, MotoGP moves to Buriram in Thailand. It's the Chang International Circuit for round 18 and the first free practice session, 45 minutes, is underway now. Hello everybody and welcome to the first free practice session of the weekend. We are all underway for what is going to be a very interesting Thailand Grand Prix. The hashtag Thai GP. 45 minutes on the clock as well. Let's see what we've got after Marc Marquez proved that the killer instinct was still there after the Australian Grand Prix weekend where he fought down with Jorge Martin. He comes to a circuit where he crowned 8-time world champion back in 2019 with a move similar at the last corner on Fabio Quartararo. Then on the Petronas Yamaha. We are really in for an exciting weekend of action here. Beautiful blue skies here in Buriram. Air temperature 29 degrees, track temperature 47 degrees, 66% humidity at the moment. Everyone out there, mixture, all on hard tyres, and then a few mixtures, soft front, hard fronts as well. No one gone yet for a medium front. Brad Binder, the only one to stay in the pit lane. Everybody else straight out there onto the circuit to see exactly what it's going to be like. It's a wonderful atmosphere, it's a wonderful circuit. We can't wait to get going again. So, as always, live coverage of the practice sessions. I'm solo for free practice one. Megan Birch will join me for practice this afternoon at 9 AM UK time. And then I'll sit out this afternoon's Formula One first session as well. So, sort of get a double dose at the moment as I'll take a seat for my seat for the day up here in the commentary box. There we go. No, Megan, it equals I get to sit down. First lap time on the board then, and it comes from the man who crashed in the Tissot Sprint last time out, Marco Bezzecchi with a 134.384. And then Pedro Acosta declared fit, does a 133.454. He's my pick a winner for the Tissot Sprint this weekend as well. I think Acosta's got a good deal on front of him as well. He's got a bike that likes this circuit. It likes a short, sharp spurts. Ducati are going to go well here because they go well everywhere else as well. But this is what I love about this circuit. It really is sort of a do-or-die situation. Just notice as well that the blog isn't exactly in its usual format. There we go. All nice now. We'll go through it. I wonder why that wasn't as normal as it was. But yeah, slight delay to this session after a red flag in Moto 2. Everything is A-OK now though, which is the good news. As the sector time showing the best lap times. Everyone going red as we're on board with Pecco Bagnaia on the inside of an Air Bastianini coming in to the last corners on the circuit. That's down at turn 6 actually, back up into turn 9. 2 long straightaways. It's a fantastic circuit as you saw earlier. Lap time cancel flags Marquez for track limits. One Mia lap time cancel for exceeding track limits as well. So that puts Mia back down to last position. Alex Marquez drops to 11th. Acosta still good. Zarco. What now? Acosta 131.690 jumps to the top. Zarco into P2. Thought there'd be a bit of a difference there. Let us know where you're watching from. It's 5 AM here in the UK, or 4:50 AM. It's going to be technical. It's 10:50 over there in Thailand. So was that a 6-hour time difference? Sunday it'll only be 5 hours. Oh no, Sunday will be 7 hours actually. Here in the UK, clocks go back on Sunday. So 1 AM then goes to 2 a.m. then back to 1 a.m. again. So that's going to get confusing, especially when we're in the commentary box for the races as well. Over the line then. Quartararo goes third, 131.828. Jorge Martin has the top honour, 131.356. Maverick Vinales improving as well. Salvador is coming to the pit lane. If anybody was watching the Moto 2 practice session that preceded us, that flag came out for track conditions, but we had Tony Arbolino crash, get back on the bike, come into the pit lane, signal to a marshal to come over, and Zonta van der Gerberg riding in between the marshal and Tony Arbolino, clipping Arbolino's left ankle, and Arbolino having to bellow over in pain. If you saw the accident, you know it was absolutely ridiculous and completely Zonta's fault. As Martin gets his lap time spoiled by an Air Bastianini, sending it around the outside into the hairpin at 3. Oh, 4 technically, and stopping it. Lap time cancelled for Martin for exceeding track limits. That's put him 4th. Nakagami's fastest. Bagnaia now fastest over the line. 131.248 as Bastianini leads Martin over the line as well. Into turn 1. It's like a race, this. They're all desperate to get out there and get a free practice session underneath them and get experience of this circuit. They know how crucial it was when we lost first practice at the Australian Grand Prix. Martin comes in, trail braking down to turn 3 on the inside line. Bastianini's on the outside. Tries to cut back, brings it back up side by side. It's like we're watching a Grand Prix. Martin and Bastianini are properly punching each other. Careful, boys, it's only free practice 1. It doesn't mean anything this session. Marco Bezzecchi to the top, 131.040. It's quite funny, actually. This session means absolutely nothing, and they are knocking 7 bells out of each other. It's one of the funniest situations we've seen for a while, actually, in this series. As Bagnaia 3/10 up at the moment to Enea Bastianini. Martin a 10th up as they stand. Let's check in with TNT.
GP package has meant that the rider doesn't get a lot of airflow onto him. So yeah, they feel like they don't get a lot of cooling. They have tried a little ducting from the screen onto the tank, although we thought at the time that was to cool the rider, but some people said it was to cool the ECU on top of the airbox. But either way, they haven't found a solution. They're on a lump of heat and metal that continues to get hotter as the race goes on. They're all
rider down, 2 riders down actually at the last corner, and it's well, I can't see who it is. We've got a yellow flag out because of it. So we've got Espargaro has crashed out at the last corner. They're going to splinter him and put him on the splint board. Let's take a look. Oh, he's gone off at turn 12 on the entry and rolled it in the gravel a little bit. So the bike will easily be repaired. Aleix, though, splintered away. Correct procedure. Don't let him walk. Carry him off. Get the doctor to check him out. The one good thing about Thailand is that the marshals take safety a bit more seriously than anywhere else in the world. That time cancelled now for riders going through that sector. Unfortunately, it does mean Marco Bezzecchi, who was going to go fastest here with a 130.827. That lap time's now going to get deleted by the stewards immediately. Same goes for Pecco Bagnaia, who's gone second. So Pedro Costa will take second position, so will take top spot. But the timing screen has deleted the lap time, but has not moved the situation away. This is really bizarre. Let's just show you quickly here. Take the sections away. Look at the top 2. Bezzecchi and Bagnaia's lap times been to these shows Vinales, Miller and Fernandez, but they have not had their lap times changed. Now Bagnaia's on 130.692. He's gone fastest, but they kept their positions. That shouldn't happen. That's a really bizarre thing. Their fastest lap time was deleted for track limits. Yeah, 130.827 for Bezzecchi. That's been deleted by the stewards. So he shouldn't have access to that lap time. And yet he is having access to that lap time. Marc Marquez goes 6th fastest, 131.306. As we look down at Aprilia. Getting the second bike ready for Aleix Espargaro. the correct thing, I think, as well, as Marco Bezzecchi does a Middlesex 10 that's 27 thousandths off of Pecco Bagnaia's lap time. Yeah, last corner for Espargaro being stretched off from the track very deep into the corner. Don't know how slow that turn is. Morning, Sean. As she says, morning, Josh. Morning, Sean. Morning, everybody. So, brake problems for Brad Binder this morning. Lost out 3 laps at the start of the session. So, he might have to go to bike 2. Alberino is going to the medical centre for a checkup. That's on Moto 2. Yeah. Even I agree with Simon Patterson there, who said it's a race bad situation for Zonta van der Gerberg, who almost hit a Marshall and did hit Alberino as well. That was not the greatest thing on the planet as well to come into. They will now try and change each other. Martina 130.530 goes second fastest. Marco Bezzecchi is top 130.492. So he's having everything go change over. So SHG says these final 3 MotoGP race weekends are going to be very tight. We really need Pecco to redeem himself to allow us to see the British Championship go down to the season finale. Absolutely. We've got 37 points available per weekend. Need to get that ASAP up. I think Marc Marquez foam finger there with the victory sign and number 93 tattooed underneath it. That's a nice little thing to have. But yeah, 20 points is the gap. So much more on the line here. So much more that needs to be done. Martin could extend that gap this weekend to 56, mathematically. Which means going into Malaysia, he can win it in the sprint. So Bagnaia, this is a must weekend for Bagnaia. And it will, I think this is going to go down to the final 2 races. The Tissot Sprint and Valencia Grand Prix. I can't see it being decided in Malaysia. It will be match point, of course, because unless they are completely level on points going into Malaysia Grand Prix, I think the sprint will decide it. Say the gap's like 12. Mathematically, it can be done in Malaysia, but yeah. Still strikes me there's more Formula 1 races left, 5, than there is MotoGP at 3, because of all the cancellations we've had. But there are 6 MotoGP races in total. There's 3 sprint and 3 Grand Prix. Formula 1 have 5 Grand Prix and 2 sprint left, so it's 6 for MotoGP and 7 for Formula 1. So on that balance, it sort of levels itself out. It's a weird one to try and keep in mind. And then you've got NASCAR, because usually at this point in the season, as you all know, we've just got Formula 1 and MotoGP flicking between each other. But we've got NASCAR in the mix now as well, as they've got 3 races left. We're back next weekend at Homestead. Where are we? Whatever one is next weekend. And then we've got Phoenix. Let's take a look at the last corner at turn 12. On a super slow-mo intro. This is Pecco Bagnaia on a slow.
They've done it and won the last 2 years, having overhauled Quartararo a couple of seasons ago. How much does that play in? I hate to use a football analogy, but you're losing 1-0 with 10 minutes to go, but the manager still says you play the same way, you continue to do things the same way. How important is that at this stage that Bagnaia has been there?
It's massive. It's massive because he's got that experience. He's got those 2 MotoGP world titles under his belt. It takes the pressure off. At the end of the day, he's going to give his maximum. And guess what? If he doesn't win the World Championship this year, he's still a 2-time MotoGP world champion. The pressure, you'd say, he's on Jorge Martin. He's never won the MotoGP world title and he's leaving, he's jumping off a Ducati onto an Aprilia next year, where you're going to have to say, what are his chances of winning the world title next year, Jorge Martin? It's going to be much more difficult because the Ducati is so strong. So, as far as pressure goes, you'd say there's more on Jorge Martin. But Jorge Martin's 20 points in the lead. And then that sort of levels it then, because now that's a decent lead. That is a cushion. And so then that
one
throws
mistake. That's one mistake for Pecco, and it's almost done.
exactly that. So then Pecco has the pressure of, I can't make a mistake, but then it's like, well, I've got nothing to lose because I have to beat my main opponent. So it is, and I'm not trying to build it up, but it's like that perfect balance.
Build it up, Neil. Build it up, because that's what we've got to do, because we got a cracker in Phillip Island. We've had 4 crackers in the last 4 years here, and I just get the feeling this track offers opportunities, doesn't it, for risky lunges, whether it be turn 3, whether it be the final corner, down towards turn 4. There's even a fast kink in there, but there are opportunities.
Yeah, we've already seen Martin passing Bastianini into turn 3. You've got a little kink at turn 2, but it's pretty much a straight, and the second proper turn on the racetrack is a perfect overtaking opportunity. Just level the rider, pull out of their slipstream. The last corner lunge, the run towards turn 4, if you get a good exit of turn 3, we've got a lot of chances here to make overtakes, so it always brings a good race here in Buriram, and I think the same will happen again this weekend. It's a nice little reminder of the Misano success for Marc Marquez and his Grassini boys.
Yeah, it's sort of pinned up. It's sort of pinned up for him as well, coming into it. I'm just trying to work out what my headphones are on the right call there. There we go. They were bugging me a little bit. I wasn't hearing myself quite loud. But I can now, and that is the main thing. Drivers. Eyes sweaty. Fabio Quartararo, very much of the opinion that he wants something changed in that bike. As he comes and sits down in the back half of turn 1, actually. Weird little setup, actually, how all that's worked out. Almost looks too stressed. Where is it at the moment on the board? 8th fastest for Fabio Quartararo. Let's take a replay. This is Quartararo into the braking zone at turn 12. Elbow down. Eyes forward. No winglet fairing on the rear of the bike like there was last time out in Australia. Never give up, Fabio 20 from one of the Thai fans here. I must admit, even Maverick Vinales said it's a really weird atmosphere, because he said in an interview in the press conference yesterday that he can go out in Madrid and have no one know who he is. He can't go out here in Buriram because everybody knows who he is. But this is what MotoGP is. Thailand, Indonesia, Spain, they're the key battlegrounds for MotoGP. Thailand really does go mental for motorcycles. It's fantastic. It's the same level we see in Indonesia, and we see here on JB Motorsports via our YouTube chat. And all you viewers in Indonesia who wake up and watch it with us. We appreciate it so much, and we love that motorcycles and Formula One and everything. It's loved around the world. It's fantastic, and that's why I love it. Breaking news: VR46 will confirm that Di Antonio's replacement on Monday, Tuesday. It will most likely be Andrea Iannone. So that's breaking news for you. That it looks like Andrea Iannone, who was banned from motorcycle racing, lost his seat in MotoGP due to a positive drugs test some years ago, is going to get another chance in the top tier of motorcycle racing with 2 races at Malaysia and Valencia with the VR46 team. So Andrea Iannone looks to come back to MotoGP as Di Antonio has shoulder surgery and will miss the last 2 races of the year. Okay. Personally, that's, in my opinion, it's like giving Lance Armstrong... Yeah, he's the cyclist, right? Lance Armstrong's the cyclist? Yeah, it's like giving Lance Armstrong another crack at it after all his drugs scandals. Andrea Iannone was not only found guilty once, he was found guilty multiple times of drug use. And I think he said it to lose weight or something like that. But still... It's a drugs cheat, and in my opinion, it has no business in racing. No matter, he served his sentence, yes, and he's been going well in World Superbikes, but I think the World Superbikes is about the limit he can go back to. To bring it back to MotoGP, questionable. I would love your opinion in the chat. In fact, let's start a poll, shall we? Let's put it on TNT and I'll start a poll in the chat. I'd love to know your opinions on this, everybody.
The slightest, but it's always worrying when the parent company, the Pure Mobility Group, just in a little bit of financial difficulty at the moment, but confident they will rebound.
I think the same for all manufacturers, isn't it? Across the board, really. And it's reassuring for them to say it's not going to affect our Grand Prix.
That's Binder, now back on the bike. Right, I've put a poll in the chat. We don't do this that often, actually. Polls in the YouTube chat. Does Andrea Iannone deserve a second chance in MotoGP? Get voting. I want to know your answers. And everybody is. It's going well. So, yes, no. Oh, it's 50-50 at the moment. 60-40, 67-30. Excellent. Let's have that going for 5 minutes and see what it is. So get voting, everybody. 64. Oh, yes, 60%. No, 40% on the vote so far. Let's leave that up for 5 minutes. I'd love to know your opinion, actually. Get your opinions in the chat. Does Andrea Iannone deserve a second chance in MotoGP, as it looks like it's going to be announced on Monday/Tuesday that he will replace Fabio Di Giannantonio for the last 2 races? So that's interesting. Yeah, that's more like it. That's what these practice sessions should be. We haven't used that yes or no, the multiple choice answer for a long time in the poll. We'll get a Q&A going as well, actually, at some point. Binder getting... Oh, the bike does not look steady into turn 12 as well. He turned in and he just went straight on. He could not get that down. He's a second off the pace. He's in P9 at the moment, 131.518 for him. So, yeah, that's a little bit more entertaining, to say the least. Jorge Martin watching on. As I adjust my arms on the list. A younger World Superbike rider would have been better, says Gift as well. I agree with you. Do you know, BMW would never let Top Rack go anywhere near this series. But there are so many. Yeah, Nicola Bulaga as well. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, actually. I was trying to remember which one I was going to say. But I agree with you, Gift. Bulaga does deserve more of a chance in the series, and having even Evio Bautista to come back, to be fair. Petrux as well. Petrux makes most sense to me. He's got more experience on a GP23 bike, more recent experience. So yeah, Petrux will be more into it. Interesting enough that the vote's quite split at the moment. 69% say yes, 31% say no. Keep the votes coming in. This is great stuff. Julian says, Bulaga failure on Moto 2, though. Yeah. But he's done well in superbikes, isn't he? Yeah. Can't wait, by the way. Next year on JB Motorsports 2, we'll be covering World Superbikes and the Super Sport and the WCR Women's Circuit Racing. So that's all great. We'll be on site at Donington Park as well for the WCR event and the Superbikes British Grand Prix weekend at Silverstone. Oops, I've lost access. There we go. Timings went off temporarily. Back now. 14. So 71% say yes, 29% say no. 73 now. Get it in. Let's keep it going. 20 minutes to go. Pedro Acosta currently down in 5th position, 130.906, wiping his face away. But yeah, as I guess he's a success in World Superbikes. Bautista is a Spanish, I'm guessing they want an Italian rider. Bautista had experience on a Ducati. Petrux as well. I'd personally go Top Rack, but if you're going to get Top Rack in, you put him in a top bike, won't you? Pun intended. Total pun intended. Acosta talking to his engineer about the bike. Yeah, don't talk in full because we can fully see here. Winter Purple, hello Winter, says, Iannone's MotoGP experience will be invaluable. A totally new rider from World Superbikes would be like a deer caught in the headlights. It doesn't usually turn out well. Top Rack, more interesting. Yeah, it would be. But in that case, why not bring in someone like Petrux, Bautista, those who've even the likes of Sam Lowe's even, you know, to give him another shot in MotoGP. Someone who's been in Superbikes now the season's over after Jerez, and just see what can happen. Martin, he's the fastest in sectors 2 and 3 actually, by a tenth, 0.120. 80% say yes, 20% say no now in that chat. I love that. That's probably got everybody involved. I like that YouTube poll that we got put out there. Over the line, 130.718. Martin stays second, still 2/10 down on his overall best time of a 130.530. Bezzecchi didn't improve either. Back top in sector 4. It was a 130.731. 3/10 off his fastest time. Trail braking into turn 12 for Jorge Martin. You can see the rear stepping out like crazy. Marini up to 10th, 131.186. So again, closing in. Bautista goes 16th fastest. Let's check in quickly with TNT.
Mark Marquez interview, which I believe was very good, by the way.
It was nice. It was a nice chat.
You are getting the hang of this job after
One day.
25 years.
One day you'll get there.
I can't believe though Steve Day wrote the questions for you. Now that's
very good of him.
Slightly disappointing, but
very good of him. Yeah, I just wanted to remind you that not only are we racing here now, we'll be back here for the opener of next year. I think it's a good venue for an opener because this place is full. It will be full this weekend. The grandstand, the front grandstand, I was up there yesterday, and you get a great view of the whole circuit, and there's a great atmosphere. I remember over the years when we've seen Chantra battling. It's like a football crowd, isn't it, that you get? The cheers every time someone makes a move, and they should get a real treat. When we come back in March, right at the start of March, it's going to be hot.
yeah,
It is a hot time of the year. Remember World Superbikes coming here, didn't they?
it was 40 degrees, wasn't it? So that's going to be very, very difficult for the riders.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I forgot that this boy around the Chang International Circuit is actually the season opener for... Oh, TV signal's gone off. I've lost TV pictures again up here in the commentary box. It'll come back in a second. But yeah, Thailand is the... It's not coming back. It's come back. With no sound. That's really bizarre. Right, okay, well, we'll fix that in a second. Yeah, this Thailand Grand Prix is going to be the season opener next year, of course. So that's going to be even more interesting to keep it on. Let's just try and get our sound back, shall we? Oh, okay. Sound's gone. Sound's gone. Sound's totally gone. Okay, well, that's more interesting. Martin runs wide as well off the circuit. So that's come into it. And no one's awake to go and switch the audio on, which is always a good thing. Martin is up as well as he comes into the last two corners. So he's going to try and have a little bit of delta time to come through. As we now frantically trying to get things on. Because I don't know why we've lost sound up here in the comms box. It's just all gone dead. TV pictures now completely blown again. So I think Dawn are having an issue from their side on things. Still, Marc Marquez, second and third sector, looking faster and faster with 15 minutes to go of this session. Now here's me trying to quickly get Discovery Plus on the laptop to get you some audio so I can run in the house and fix whatever issues going on, because we've lost TV pictures completely up here in the commentary box, which is not ideal at 5:15 a.m. in the morning when nobody is available. Bezzecchi, Martin, Bagnaia still on the top here as well. 76% of you at the moment, though, saying that it's good for Andrea Iannone to come back. Okay, well, let's, for 30 seconds, hand over to TNT Sports while I go run inside and get our audio back for whatever's happened as well. So let's see if this loads, and I'll run in the house and go get it. Because I'm in the commentary box, you see. Here you go.
see this sport as their football if you're in the UK, where this is the Premiership.
Yeah, it's only a town of maybe 30, 40,000 people here in Buriram, and then suddenly, when the race comes, you're going to get 70, 80,000 here in the stands over the race weekend. So it's a busy place for it.
And what's good about this event is in the paddock they put on, there's a lot going on. It's almost like the equivalent of, they have all the manufacturers have huge stands like you would get if you went to the, like say, the motorcycle live show. Yeah. It's a big setup, so you've not just obviously got the action on track. It's like you can go to have a look at all the latest bikes, and it's superb.
Harley have got a stand here, I saw at the back. James Rispoli's coming over from the States, obviously a factory Harley riders. I saw they had like the bikes out on a stand.
That's one bike I have not seen on the road in Thailand. Is
Yamaha, Honda, all the rest. They're selling the scooters, which you see tons of, but yeah. Harley have a big stand here. Interesting. There's a good motorcycle culture in Thailand, and we do love to come here as Marc Marquez comes out of the final corner and improves the gain. Very consistent laps that he's setting here with hard front, hard rear tyres on his bike. Quarter of a second still behind Bezzecchi, but it's the consistency that's been impressive so far. Bagnaia out for his third run on track. He's gone with the soft front that Jorge Martin's been using so well.
Looking at the, obviously, GP23 leading the way, GP24 second, third, and then another GP23 and fourth. So this circuit, as we've seen in Phillip Island, the comments from the GP23 riders are that there was a development in the weight of the flywheel, and it changed how the bike stopped, how it turned, how it accelerated. Then
there we go. Got it back. All Discovery Plus on that matter. We managed to get it back on and operational. TV had shut down in the house. Go. The power supply had gone. We need to change that around. We need another plug. Everybody, we can't even afford to get another, like a USB plug to a UK plug. We can't even afford to get one of those to keep the television on. So the television in my room has to stay on, showing the same pictures as what's in the commentary box. Otherwise, because that's how it powers itself from the television. So we need it's complicated. It used to be simple, but we have to have the splitter for the other commentators to see, because it now runs off the iMac upstairs. Gets confusing. We need to simplify the boxes. 11 minutes to go. I'm not supposed to be running that much as well. I ran inside and up, and I'm still in recovery. Anyway, 15 to go, yeah. So here we go. Bezzecchi still on 130.492. Martin Bagnaia. Let's do a rundown for everybody who's listening on the radio this morning, because there are a lot of you. Marco Bezzecchi's on top with 11 minutes to go on a 130.492. Martin is second. Bagnaia third. Fourth is Marc Marquez. Acosta's fifth. Miller sixth. Nakagami seventh. Quadraro eighth. Binder ninth. Morbidelli has the top 10. Then it's D'Antonio 11th. Marini is 12th. Bassini 13th. Alex Marquez 14th. Vinales 15th. Raul Fernandez 16th. Mia 17th. Zarco 18th. Rins 19th. Augusto Fernandez 20th. Aleix Espargaro 21st. And Lorenzo Salvadori is in 22nd position. Let me know, by the way, if you can only hear my voice and the track audio and not anybody other commentators. We had that problem in Australia because for some reason it didn't work out the way it was supposed to. SHG says, still remember in the first 2 years of MotoGP race in Thailand, Mark won both of them on the final lap and the final corner. I love this circuit. It's one of my favourites on the MotoGP calendar, and I forgot actually that we've got next year. This is where, as Gavin Emmett said earlier on, this is where we're starting next year. So race 1 of 2025 is the Thailand Grand Prix, and it is a great venue. I'm going to miss Qatar, but that's got work and has to be moved around. So 25 and 26 will start in Thailand. Interesting. VR46 failed rider, never podium every race as well, yeah. From Murta. And we'll keep this poll going for another 5 minutes if you haven't voted yet in the YouTube chat. Does Iannone deserve a second chance in MotoGP? At the moment, 79% of you say yes, 21% of you say no, which is an interesting situation.
Going to be quite entertaining anyway. Obviously, it's Iannone, so he won't be afraid of saying stuff. He'll want to get stuck in. He'll want to make an impression to try and prove people wrong. So, if he gets a chance, I mean, the argument was it was between him or Bulega. Well, Bulega would. It'd have made more sense really to put the young Italian on, who's potentially got the age on his side and he could move up to MotoGP. But I think I'd rather watch Iannone and see how he gets on. To be honest, we've got plenty of young, fast, young Italians in this paddock anyway. So
yeah, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? He's a pretty divisive figure, isn't he? Of course, had his 4-year ban for taking a banned substance, which he, of course, always has denied and appealed it. They doubled the length of his ban. It's funny how we see things from an outside of Italy point of view. In Italy, he's back to the hilt, wasn't he? Backed by Aprilia, backed by media a lot of times. But I don't know, outside of Italy, it's always been a bit like, clearly something's gone on there. There's no smoke without fire, all these kinds of things. They've never been able to provide an excuse for what happened. And I think people sort of saw Iannone as a huge, talented prospect, as we all did, but the application maybe wasn't quite there. The silly things that happened over the time that he was in MotoGP, the jaw reconstruction that meant he missed testing, all these sorts of things, and he almost threw away his options here in MotoGP.
Well, if you think the banned substance that obviously he was caught taking, that wasn't for performance enhancing as a motorcycle racer. That was performance enhancing in front of the mirror to look good visually, and that is the reality.
It sounds even better in your Northern Irish accent.
Just quickly between us two, where would I, if I was to want to buy something, asking for a friend, just...
I'm sure you could get some. We'll call her Iannone next weekend.
You just have to eat the meat in Malaysia.
In Malaysia, yeah.
Anyway, cynical about it. I just think, has he had his opportunity? I think it'd be nice to see Bulega. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but Bulega's time will potentially come in the future.
Let's hope so.
And with Iannone, of course he's had all these opportunities. It's more of a story, isn't it? As in, PR-wise, they'll get much more PR having Iannone on the bike.
Perhaps. And I wonder if Bulega's history with VR46, remember he did leave the academy, didn't he, at one point? I wonder if that has, a little bit of a say in it as well. But he's had a fantastic year in World Superbike after winning in World Supersport. Of course, we've got the World Supersport champion coming across the Moto2 next year with Adrian Huertas, which I'm excited to see. Someone who's in the rookies, when a lot of the riders at the sharp end of Moto2 and heading up to MotoGP were in there. So, it'll be interesting to see what Huertas can do.
So there we go. That's TNT's 2 penneth on the situation. As well, you've got a minute left to vote, by the way, in that YouTube chat. Is it a yes or no? As Pecco Bagnaia, soft front, hard rear. That's all. It's soft front, hard rear. Everyone's on the hard rear tyre. And then there's loads on soft front and then a couple on hards. Very nicely split as well. Let's take a look then as well. Where are we? Yes, SSG says... God, we've got a couple of chats to catch up on actually here, so let's go through them here on YouTube. Still remembering the first... Oh, yeah, we've got that one. Starting next year in Thailand with a Thai rider in Somkat Chantra making his MotoGP Premier Class debut. Perfect storyline. Really is. When Somkat won last year, or the year before, in Moto2, this place was rocking. Fantastic. Lawrence says, to be honest, Iannone is a good rider. I think he deserves a second chance as well. PNV says the final corner crash between Dovi and Andrea cost him his ride. He is a supremely talented rider. One mistake that left a big mark in his career. That's how MotoGP is. Lou, hello Lou, good morning, says age issue. And then says to SHT, age should be considered. He would be 35, which had passed his peak. So even though we would love to give him a second chance, sadly no for me. SSG says people hate Iannone not because of his talent, but mostly on his reckless riding as well as poor judgment, which caused crashes and of course the doping ban. Lou says Zarco's down in P18s. That's a really shocking day, actually, Zarco in 18th place as well. SSG then says, however, he's still a good MotoGP rider and a one-time Premier Class race winner. He also provided entertainment on track, and I don't mind him giving a second chance. Lou says, then keep in mind Iannone is 35 already, is past his peak. Yeah, so let's end that poll and show you the full results back in the YouTube chat. So we've closed the poll. So we asked, does Iannone deserve a second chance in MotoGP? We had 35 in total. 80% said yes, 20% said no. And Lou then says, not to mention Iannone not driving MotoGP for a long time would be a problem when he has to learn MotoGP again. Age also a matter, which makes sense, yeah. It's a catch-22 situation, it seems. Simon Patterson, the latest from him. Our reporter, husband and wife duo, of course, Maddie and Simon, great friends as well. Simon did put out a tweet saying... Oh, no, that's Maddie's text message, hang on. Simon, here we go. Simon put out a tweet saying... Pablo Nieto said, we are waiting for the confirmation that 46 will replace him. Joking, of course, he says. So they were saying Valentino Rossi to replace him. That is a joke, however. Pablo Nieto has, though, confirmed that Ducati get a say in it. So while Iannone might be the team preference, Bulega might still get a chance. News on Monday. So it's Monday we're going to hear now from this. Hello, Christina. Hi, folks. Hello. Good morning to you. Don't forget, after this session, I'll hand over to TNT for the practice starts, so you can hear what's going on with them. And then we'll wrap up, so we've got another 15 minutes or so to keep in. PNV, hello, says, I don't think young riders can ride these huge MotoGP spaceships. They keep crashing and costing the team. The teams are now looking for experienced riders that can control these huge, well, effing tractors. I don't want to, even though it's 5:27 in the morning, I don't know what time the algorithm doesn't like swearing, does it? Plus, we're a global broadcaster, so we're under different rules from MotoGP. So, yeah. Martin going for a late lunge here on a fast time. He's 10th up at the moment. So estimated P1 at the moment. Sectors 1 and 2, red sectors. Simply red, standing by. Don't worry, PMV. You can look. You can type whatever you like in the YouTube chat. I just can't say it on the stream. You can type whatever you like. I just can't say it. So I have to go like that. Forking, I presume I could say, because that's different, isn't it? It's like that. Have anyone ever seen The Good Place on Netflix? You know, you can't swear in heaven or that lot. It's like that. So they do like holy forking shirt balls. It's quite funny, actually. It's great writing. It's great. Martin over the line. He was 8,000 in the third sector, and he's 4 tenths down, but Martin improves to second place with a 1:30.530. So, great time there. So, get back up there. Bagnaia P3. Alex Marquez goes to fifth, 1:30.849. Bulega would make a lot of sense because he's still young, says SHD. And Bulega is a good option, says Lou, as well. 1 minute left of this session. Time for the riders to keep through. Zarco still way off compared to Nakagami. Zarco is 16th. Nakagami up in 8th place as well. What about Petrucci? Petrucci. I did say Petrucci, but I think the team want Iannone. Ducati might want Bulega. It seems to be between those two. Sadly, it doesn't look like Petrucci is going to get in with it. Personally, I would have said to BMW, can we borrow Toprak? But maybe Toprak doesn't want to come in. Toprak seems happy in Superbikes, but he's a talent that should be, in my opinion, in MotoGP on a top-tier bike. He'd be absolutely fantastic with Toprak. BMW are coming back, aren't they, to MotoGP, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just Googling that. Yeah, BMW acquires Suzuki's GXXR MotoGP data. 18 million they paid for that. And BMW is planning to enter the Premier class in the next few seasons, most likely 2027. So I reckon Toprak would come in then, in 2027. That would be my opinion on the matter. Checker flag is out. Session is over. SHT says Mark's times has been consistent with the Hounds. Yep, they really have. Mark up in 4th position, looking good. Alex doing well as well. Cristiano saying, hey, Lou. Hello, Cristiano. SHD says, I think it was between Iannone, Petrucci, Bulega and Pirro to place Digi. From what I hear, but now it's between Iannone and Bulega. Pirro, yes, but no. Petrux, I'd say yes. It's Bulega and Iannone, in my opinion. Not in my opinion. It's Bulega or Iannone. That's the two. In my opinion, I would include Petrux and Pirro in that mix as well. I forgot about Pirro. Pirro's linked to the factory Ducati though, as their test rider. But yeah, you'd think it would leave it out. I don't think Pirro's good enough between these four. No, Pirro isn't. Pirro's a good test rider. Michele Pirro. Flags out then. Session over for MotoGP and the first free practice session. Practice this afternoon at 60 minutes. We'll decide the running order for Q1 and Q2. Then tomorrow morning's free practice 2 before qualifying will get underway as well. Still remember he led the race for a bit in Japan last year. Under the rain, and then the red flag came out. Yeah, we all thought Pirro might be able to get it if the red flag came out in time. Manu crashed at over 200 mile an hour at Phillip Island. Tops free practice 1 on a GP23 bike. 130.492. Checker flags are out. Session has concluded, by the way. Let's show you the fastest lap times from that session. There you go. So it's Marco Bezzecchi, Jorge Martin, Pecco Bagnaia, Marc Marquez, Alex Marquez, top 5, Enea Bassini, Pedro Costa, Jack Miller, Takiki Nakagami, Fabio Quartararo, top 10. Brad Binder, 11th, and Franco Morbidelli, Fabio Di Giannantonio, Luca Marini, and Maverick Vinales to 15. Johan Zarco, Ralph Fernandez, Juan Mir, Alex Rins, Augusto Fernandez to 20. Aleix Espargaro and Lorenzo Salvadori round out the grid. Riders into the pit lane then. Time for the practice start session. Let's hand over to TNT Sports.
Explain how that's different then from, you know, when you were in MotoGP 20 years ago, or Michael, you were in MotoGP 10 years ago. How's that?
Well, do you know what? Everyone, all throughout the eras of all motorcycle racing, people try to stop in a shorter distance, but it's just changed. I mean, the aero helps a little bit as well. Obviously, the electronics help a little bit with engine braking. So it's just become more and more important. And the way these bikes, the MotoGP bikes, are built now, because they are like drag bikes, they've designed them to stop in a shorter distance, accelerate better, so you can use more of the power, and sort of sacrifice cornering. That's how it sort of evolved. And you just look at the picture of the bike. Look at that for an example. Look at his rear tyre, stuck to the ground. We've got a perfect example of it compared to what we saw with Bezzecchi. So then he's able to have more brake pressure at this point, and the back tyre's working as a brake. It's sucking the bike. It's like pulling the bike backwards.
And obviously he's got his right leg off, but he's got a left thumb control, so a little bit of rear brake pressure there. Using the rear to decelerate. So yeah, they can't stop. They can reduce the speed from 225 miles an hour down to 60 in a much shorter distance than what was even conceivably possible a decade ago with the old school way without the aero bodies to help.
And that's, again, all these things combining to why the front tyre's been under so much pressure.
Yeah.
And tyre pressures might be one of those things that we'll have to look at this weekend. Just having a look at through turn 12. Had a little bit of an update from Aprilia. Aleix Espargaro crashed in that corner early on in that session. He went to the medical centre. No significant injuries were found. Minor trauma. Sounds like Aleix will be okay, which is good news. Just didn't go out in the remainder of that session.
Yeah, and obviously he's coming right to the end of his career. It'd be nice for him to finish with a result somewhere. I mean, we know he's obviously got the ability to do it. Just tapered off ever so slightly since his home race in Barcelona.
Yeah, best since then was 6th in the UK. Obviously he had the podium in the UK and in the sprint, and a podium in the sprint in Austria. But they are the only bright spots, because since then it's 8th in the sprint in Australia, 8th in Misano, when a lot of people crashed out. Yeah, it's just tailed ever so slightly. There's Alessio Salucci, better known as Ucho to you and I, and a good first practice for Marco Bezzecchi, who top the timesheets at the end. They're going out now to do their practice starts. Jorge Martin feels like he'll have been the happiest with that session.
Yeah, and it's like, look at him go. It's like he's practicing on his outlap to go straight to the maximum, just working on fine margins. So, like, can you have the best opening lap from the start? Like, look at him. Like, he's on the absolute limit. He's just going to practice start.
My takeaway from this year about Jorge Martin has been his mental strength, his ability to turn the page. There have been mistakes, there have been issues, things have happened, and yet you turn up and it's almost like, well, you went and spoke to him yesterday and he's coming calm. But it feels like it's been an active decision to put things in the past and look forwards.
Yeah, if you think about it, if and I know you can say exactly the same with Bagnaia because there's been mistakes, but the biggest mistake he made was the Misano with the weather coming into the pits. If he'd not done that, it'd definitely been, whoa.
That's a massive roll and burn out there. Was that Jack?
Yeah,
it was, yeah.
Jack, and that definitely wasn't intentional. So now all the riders
it was a tear off either.
All the riders will be nervous now. She's like, oh, it was obviously low grip. So in Indonesia, a lot of riders spinning up there, didn't we, where the track was a little bit dirtier. I mean, the track looks in good nick. It does look in good condition.
Oh, Pecco Bagnaia's had one. Does not need that. That will be weighing on his mind now. I know he'll get another go at things, but starts have been a big issue this year for Pecco.
The body language, the punch of the tank just meant, oh, not this again, because they seem to have figured out their starts. Almost a little high-sided and straight line.
You saw the black mark left on the ground. It's not right.
And that does not feel nice. Spikes your adrenaline.
Not when he was starting, the people are right alongside him, who could have been about to do their practice start. He lives every moment with Pecco Bagnaia on board that bike.
It was nice because we discussed, obviously, lack of traction on starts, and Davide explained really clearly that it's quite good of him to explain that it's absolutely got nothing to do with the ride height device. In fact, he said the ride height device makes it much safer. It places a lot more weight on that rear tyre.
Is that a touch of sarcasm there, Neil?
No. Me?
Adjustment.
Funny into with Martin how he really buries his head.
Yeah, chin.
I tell you, Johnny Ray started doing that quite a few years ago, and was very effective with it. And there's starts have changed. Riders used to sit up much more, didn't they, Michael? 10 years ago. Now a lot of riders have got their heads much more buried in the screen on the tank.
Yeah, it is definitely a thing in MotoGP. You look at Moto2, they sit up a little bit more because they don't have these lowering devices and aero to help, and as an advanced anti-wheelie strategy off the line. So yeah, I would agree. I always sat a little bit more upright to have a bit of movement with your body to go down to catch it as the bike was coming up.
Exactly that. Now I guess then the electronics do it for you.
Yeah.
So it's like get your weight forward and let the clutch out.
Exactly.
And I'm definitely not saying it's easier now. It's different because these bikes don't look easy to start.
No, now they're going 2 seconds, 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, 1.9 with a really good start. So obviously the violence when they drop the clutch, it's a different prospect. And then the potential stress of worrying about a rear wheel spin, so you're positioning your body differently, making sure both legs are planted on the ground. Some riders do have a thumb brake to just cover.
I thought Mark was going to go underneath Bagnaia there for him. We thought about it.
Marc Marquez ends the session 4th, Bagnaia 3rd, Jorge Martin in 2nd, Marco Mazzecchi in top spot. Bagnaia's second start was much better. Marquez looked like he had a little wheelie, but he still seemed to get down towards turn 1 okay. Mark will just be hoping to have one qualifying session that goes right and one start that goes right, because they haven't been able to get that combination just right yet, have they?
Exactly.
They're practicing the changeover, as you would expect. As Neil said, there are forecasts for a possibility of rain on Sunday. Nothing definite. It could well be, as it often is here. We're in Bangkok this week, and every day almost you could set your watch by the fact that at 3:30 the rain would start to fall.
Whilst the sun was out, we had that quite a bit in Bangkok, didn't we? It was, the sun was shining. It wasn't like, oh no, it's going to absolutely pour it down. And all of a sudden you feel spots of rain. You're like, where's that coming from?
It's bubbles up. There has been a lot of rain over Thailand, lots of flooding in certain areas.
We saw that in Bangkok, didn't we, when we were arriving?
How will Pecco Bagnaia feel, do you think, after that session?
I reckon he's going to be quite satisfied. We don't normally see him up at third.
Well, I think he will be equally as interested in what could happen as well going forward. So that's it then. The session is over here in Buriram at the Chang International Circuit. Join us again at 9 a.m. British Summer Time for all of the action from the very crucial 1 hour of practice that will decide the running order for Q1 and Q2 for Saturday's qualifying as well. But the first session here at Thailand, Marco Bezzecchi on a 1:30.492. He is fastest. We'll see you later for all the action. Thanks for your company. We'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.